The day that I picked up the book 13 Reasons Why, I didn't realize how much this book would change my life. I never realized how important this book would become to me 5 years after I first read it. 13 Reasons Why begins with Clay Jensen receiving a package from an unknown sender. When he opens it, he finds 7 cassette tapes with the 13 Reasons Why Hannah Baker committed suicide. Each side has a reason of why she did it. The only reason why Clay has those tapes is because he is on one of them. He is one of the reasons why Hannah killed herself. Thus begins the journey of the tangled reasons of why Hannah committed suicide. Reason 1. Justin Foley. He was her first kiss. She dreamed of this day with him weeks before she actually kissed him. She explains on his tape that it was a simple first kiss, nothing more. But Justin tells his friends that it was more than that they did other things together. This gives her the reputation of being easy. She explains on her tapes that he is the first reason because this is the beginning of the snowball. This makes her lose faith in love. Reason 2. Alex Standall. Alex seemed to have done such a simple act. He made a hot or not list. He put Hannah's name on the hot list and someone opposite on the not side. That someone has her own tape later on. But Hannah wasn't mad that he put her name on the list. In fact, she thought it was a simple act of high school immaturity. She was mad because this gave someone, who also has his own tape, an excuse to grab her in an inappropriate way. This just made the rumor of her being easy spread even faster. This makes her lose hope in friendships. By now, we start to feel Clay's confusion. He is so lost on why he's on the list. He reveals that he liked Hannah a lot and never really got to know her, although he wanted to. He found Hannah beautiful. He is trying to make up his mind on if he wants to keep listening to the tapes or just send them on, but he still wants to hear her voice. He misses Hannah. Jessica Davis is the girl opposite of her on the hot or not list. When Hannah first moved to her new town, she was set up by her guidance counselor with a new friend. Hannah and Jessica went to go get coffee at Monet's, and that's where they met Alex. They all three quickly became each other's safe haven, and they needed that from each other. They eventually grew apart. Once Alex put them on the list, Jessica got mad. Jessica blames her anger on the fact that Hannah is easy, and she thinks that her and Alex are hooking up. Hannah lost a friend to a rumor that started by a simple kiss. This makes her lose faith in connections. Reason 4. Tyler Down. Tyler took away something that Hannah could never get back. He took away her peace and comfort of her own house. She just lost her sense of friendship after the Jessica and Alex incident. Tyler was a peeping Tom, and he was spying on Hannah. She was starting to lose all these things about herself that she couldn't get back. This makes her lose faith and security. Reason 5. Courtney Crimson. When Hannah realized that Tyler was spying on her, she invited Courtney over to help catch him. Courtney was the person that everyone loved. She was perfect and sweet but had a dark side about her. She wanted to keep her squeaky clean image about her and tries to use Hannah for a ride to a party. Hannah gives her the ride and realizes that Courtney is really a horrible person. This makes Hannah lose faith and trust. Reason 6. Marcus Cooley. At Hannah's high school, they had a fundraiser that was a Who is Your Valentine survey. Hannah takes it and she ends up on the top of Marcus's list. He asks her on a date to the diner and she says yes. After he is 30 minutes late, he tries to make an inappropriate move on Hannah. This sends Hannah over the edge. This makes her lose faith in guys. Reason 7. Zach Dempsey. In Hannah's favorite class, Peer Communications, her teacher had a rack full of paper bags that each had a student's name on it. Other students were supposed to drop random notes of kindness in their peers' bags. Hannah hadn't been receiving any. She knew that someone was stealing them. She caught Zach in the act of stealing one of her notes. This makes her lose faith and hope. Reason 8. Ryan Shaver. Ryan and Hannah both joined a poetry group. The group was supposed to be a happy place, but all the group members wrote about death, making Hannah consider suicide even more. While there, her and Ryan become friends and eventually share poems with each other. Ryan then stole Hannah's poem and published it in the school newspaper. Her private thoughts were now open for discussion. Many of her teachers and peers mocked and broke down this poem. This makes her lose faith in her own thoughts. Reason 9. Clay Jensen. Finally, he hears why he's on these tapes after having to listen to Hannah breaking apart. She explained that he's the only good thing on this list, that they made out at a party, and that she liked him. He only had to be on this list to get the whole story out. He was the only person that wasn't like the others. They went into a bedroom together and Clay began asking questions, and that made Hannah nervous. She didn't want him to get close. She got angry with him and makes him leave. That was their last memory together. She was sorry for that, and she explained that in the tape to Clay. He was the only thing that made her feel okay for a while. Reason 10. A couple of names from previous tapes pop up in this one. After a few awkward moments of pre-makeout silence in a bedroom, Hannah is beside a bed when a drunk couple stumbles into the room. Jessica is blacked out while Justin tries to make a move on Jessica. After he realizes she is way past gone, he leaves the room to stand guard. A few moments later, another guy comes in and proceeds to take advantage of Jessica. By this time, Hannah is in the closet hiding. She blames herself for letting this happen, but she doesn't move from the closet. This makes her lose faith in her own strength. Reason 11. Jenny Kurtz. After the party, Jenny offers Hannah a ride. While driving home, they hit a stop sign at a four-way stop. They knock down the sign, and Hannah immediately wants to call the cops. Jenny convinces her not to and leaves Hannah. Later, we find out that the stop sign they knocked over causes an accident, which kills one man and leaves another badly injured. This makes Hannah lose faith in humanity. Reason 12. Bryce. This is the unnamed guy that inappropriately touches Hannah because of the hot or not list, and this is the same guy that took advantage of Jessica. After the party, Hannah is walking home and ends up by Courtney Crimson's house. She invites her over to take a dip in the hot tub with them. Hannah agrees, and she ends up next to Bryce. He starts to make a move, and she doesn't stop him this time. This is Hannah's way of letting herself know that she is giving up. This makes her lose hope in herself. Reason 13. Mr. Porter. He was her guidance counselor. She tries to go and talk to him about her thinking about suicide. He merely blows it off as nothing. In Hannah's mind, this was her last chance to find someone to actually care about her. But in the end, she feels like no one does. This makes her lose faith in everyone. Clay has finally heard all 13 reasons why. He understands Hannah now. He knows that he loved her, that he cared about her. He now has to mail the tapes to someone else, and he hates that he has to. But he knows that Hannah deserves to have her story out, and that people need to know what they did to her. This makes Clay gain faith in himself. The reason why I chose this book is because I recently lost a friend to suicide. Knowing the pain that Clay is going through, but also having some insight on Hannah's thoughts, had made my heart ache a little easier. This book is a great example of Humanities. The story makes people wonder and think, just like all other artists have made people do. That's what art is, making people think. This book will stand the test of time. It will always be relevant. The subject matter will always be current. Suicide will always be an issue for many, many years to come. I learned a lot about myself and life from this book that I picked up on a whim at my local bookstore. I will forever have these words in my heart.